Alrighty. I'll let the people know when to start, because the time for the game starts whenever you get past the first cutscene. So, this is Resident Evil Biohazard, because it's in Japanese. And we'll be playing with Jill Valentine, doing the any percent scenario, and the category is called any percent no major glitches, which just means we're going to get the worst ending in the game, and we're not going to use any major glitches, which is weird to define, but I'll do it in time. But 3, 2, 1, start the timer.
What is this? Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Also, I'm going to be letting the cutscenes do the talking when they happen.
But Chris is...
They're too good.
What is it? Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this. Stay alert.
Also, I'm going to mention that I'm playing the PC version, which has one super significant piece of speed tech, which is this. You can skip door animations. What a concept. Alrighty, so yeah, I'm going to be playing through this with Jill, and
What is it?
yeah, the main thing with Resident Evil speedruns or classic ones is there's three major aspects to the run. The first is the actual route itself and what order you pick up items and what goes in your inventory. The second thing is just clean movement, because there's not a whole lot of like tricky stuff going on in this game, no glitches or anything. So it all comes down to precise movement.
Barry?
Also, this is important.
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this.
That is canonically the strongest zombie in Resident Evil because it took 3 magnum rounds to the face before it died.
Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
So anyways, yeah, and the third thing about running the game is enemy mechanics, because the main way to get through a lot of parts of the game without having to waste time is knowing enemy mechanics and how to dodge them. The nice thing about Resident Evil 1 is it has the most basic enemy mechanics, so dodging enemies is very easy to do and you don't have to worry about things like RNG. Also, I looked thoroughly for Wesker right there.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining...
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And... Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of... take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. This time, I'll be there.
I'd also like to point out the fact that Barry has the lockpick, even though he says Jill is the master of unlocking. Why doesn't she have it to begin with? But yeah, now the game actually starts. All the beginning cutscene. So the first major thing we have to do in the mansion is we have to find keys and stuff to unlock doors, but the main thing to get to the next part of the game is to get these 4 tokens to unlock the, like, garden area. So that's what we're going to be looking for at first. Alright, so that's the first dodge right there. Like I said, enemies are easy to deal with. And the first thing we're going to be doing is filling up our inventory spaces. The route I'm currently using is an interesting route where at the beginning, normally when we meet up with Barry for the first time, he gives us acid rounds. The only way we can avoid that is if we have full inventory. And apparently skipping that and getting it later saves probably like only 10 seconds. And it cuts out some dialogue, which is both a blessing and a curse because I love the dialogue. Also, this is King Henry. He's a little bit hard to dodge. And I didn't get it, and that's fine. I kind of was very hasty with that dodge.
What's going on? Any clues?
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Whoa. This hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
And normally afterwards he'd be like giving you acid rounds and saying it's a really powerful weapon, especially against living things, but we're gonna miss out on that dialogue. I ran this, I think, for the second shots fired. Something like that. I ran it in a previous one. But this route's different than the one I was using because of that. Also, you saw me use first aid spray and combined bullets just to give enough inventory space to put the bazooka in, because this is basically the only weapon we're going to use in the entire run. Now, if you're looking for a game where we're going to shoot or fire shots, we're only going to fire, like, I think 18 shots total. So sorry to disappoint. But, hey, here's one. Get to kill that zombie so we can push this statue. Also, it's rude that somebody would just invade a house and break someone's statue. Like, even if you're trying to survive, that seems like a really inconsiderate thing to do. That could have been worth something. Probably worth more than this game's voice acting budget, to be honest, but... yeah, these enemies, they don't do a whole lot. The only way you can really get grabbed by an enemy when their arms are down is if you run directly into them, and that's not going to happen unless you're really careless. And we're gonna put down the chemical plant here to kill this, this hentai plant. So one thing I mentioned was no major glitches. There are skips in this game that are not intended. Like, you can skip putting the chemical plant down there and run past those. The problem is that some of the glitches in this game, if you fail them once, you can't do them again. So, no major glitches is just a little easier and a lot more single-segment friendly than a glitched category would be. And it's called no major glitches because there is one glitch that is allowed, called pause canceling, but it's not really used in this run, so it's more important for Chris's category. Alrighty, so we just picked up this folder full of musical notes, so we're going to play the Moonlight Sonata. Because, you know, when you're trying to hide from zombies, playing the piano is the most ideal thing to do. I meant plant chemical. If I said chemical plant, I'm sorry. Talking's difficult. Also, just a reminder that, Shots Fire is a pretty dope marathon. Make sure to stay tuned throughout the entire week because there's a lot of really good stuff going on. We're going to take this emblem, the gold one, and replace it with the not gold one that we picked up at the beginning of the game, just so we can get out of here. But, yeah, this is going to be necessary for us to get another key in the fireplace area. Right here. Also, admittedly, I'm not the greatest RE1 runner, and that's totally, you know, whatever, but the RE1 runners who are good at this game are all really awesome, so just want to shout out a few of them in particular. Shoutouts to Raw Derps, because he's actually running this game at Summer Games Unequipped this year. He's really good at the game. Shoutouts to Mass Hypnosis, who is kind of like one of the nicest RE1 runners I've met. Shoutouts to Clicks Gaming for literally being a god at this game. Who else am I missing? Shoutouts to It's Pie Man, because he was the person who learned this around the same time I did, and he gave me good competition for a while.
Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons.
Also shoutouts to Bakbasuit, because he's a pretty cool dude too.
What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake and also poisonous.
Poisonous?
Alright, so there's like 6-inch teeth holes inside
There is
Richard's
serum.
chest, but we're gonna go get serum to try and save him.
No, I should have brought some with me.
No problem. I'll go and get it.
Thanks.
Alrighty, so we gotta go rush to save Richard's life. Richard's life, sorry. So we're gonna backtrack a little bit to get some, as well as getting the serum. That's kind of where the main thing with this route is we pick up certain items right away or go to certain rooms just because it's easier to get them when I'm doing this, like key, for example. There's another relatively easy dodge right here. Also very easy to mess up, though. We're gonna put this Stone Tiger's Eye, that's Tony the Tiger. And this is the first of the tokens I mentioned we were gonna be collecting. There's 4 of them. Each one of them, I believe, is like for an element of the earth. Alright, we're gonna just run behind him. So the main way that manipulation of zombies works in this game is they're programmed to turn whatever direction you're approaching them from. So if you're running from behind, if you approach from their left side, they're going to turn to their left side. So you can use this pretty easily to abuse their mechanics and get around them. So that's the antidote that's going to save Richard's life. It's going to absolutely save him. There's nothing that could possibly kill him at this point. Absolutely nothing. But after Richard is one of the more critical dodges in the game. It's a bit tricky, though there's a good chance I might miss it, because I haven't practiced this game as much.
Here's the serum. Richard, hold on. I'll give you a shot now.
Jill, here's my radio. You should keep it. I'm...
No! Richard!
Jill, be careful.
Everyone make sure to press F to pay respects. Alright, so coming up here is, like I said, the critical dodge. There is a, like, mini-boss enemy here named Yawn. He's a gigantic snake. Just goes to show how well this game visually is aged. But we have to be very careful and take specific movement patterns here just to try to avoid getting bit by him. But the real meat of this comes down to this section right here. I got bit. Fuck, whatever, that's not a big deal. Alright, so unfortunately, because I got bit, I'm gonna lose about a minute in time because of it. But I got a really difficult dodge there, and I screwed up the timing of my movement. So, the main thing with... Now I can explain this. The main thing with Yawn is that there's mainly 3 points of time he can attack you. The earlier he does, the easier that dodge is. As a matter of fact, if he does it the earliest he can, you don't even have to move. But the later he does it, the tighter of a window of movement becomes. So I got the latest fight, so I got bit, and now I'm back in this bed. The upside to this is the fact that I have full health now. Not that that was an issue before. It just means that we're gonna have to do a little bit of sidetracking. See, I originally missed this, so we got more time to watch shots fired. Aren't I a good guy? But we're gonna make our way back to that area. No, she used the antidote on Richard, so now there's literally none. She used an entire bottle of serum on Richard. Alright, so I'm gonna enter this door and just exit it again because it makes setting up this dodge a little bit easier. Alright, so now we're going into one of everyone's favorite things about Resident Evil, a statue pushing puzzle. This is a trend that exists in pretty much every Resident Evil game. Well, here's the thought, though. What if Richard actually died because she gave him way too much serum, like he OD'd on it? Just think about that for a moment. So that's the 3rd token. We have 1 more to get, which we have to do a pretty interesting puzzle to get. Also, this guy's always going to turn to his left so we can go around his right side. And just run past this guy. Oh. Okay, so I took a bad angle there. That was just bad movement, not a big deal. The nice thing about Resident Evil 1 is that with your health... In other Resident Evil games, your movement speed changes based on your health status. But in this game, you move speed regardless. which is kind of neat. So this puzzle, we're just hitting these in a specific order, which I believe is the cycle of life. You go from birth to death. And if you screw this up, the crows will start flying at you, and you just gotta do the whole thing over. Alrighty, and I also have to equip my bazooka again real quick. Hello, thank you. There's another shot fired for you guys. Just makes getting through that hallway easier. Also, that's a dog. So I mentioned that the enemy mechanics in this game are really simple. There isn't like a whole lot of randomness in this game for this category anyways. The dogs are kind of random. And by that I mean it's not really a problem anywhere in the game except for one specific area. That's not the one though. Alright, we're gonna get this crank. The crank is my favorite item. It's a item that has basically been in every Resident Evil game. Like, I feel like literally in every game there's one point where you have to pick up a crank and use it, but this game is super hyped because there's actually 2 cranks you use. Alrighty, so we just lowered the water level to get to the next part of the map. So we gotta do a few things in this area of the game next. Also, snakes are falling from the sky. That's truly the evil resident right there. Is the snakes. You've heard of raining cats and dogs, but this is something else. Alright, so now this dodge right here is a little bit picky. I'm not very consistent at it, so I'll probably miss it, like that. Oh, bad corner turn there. Alrighty, so we're gonna drain this tub to get a key. That water's murky as heck, and it's probably full of various diseases and gross stuff. But we're key anyways, because we need it. Alrighty. Quick turn, shoot this one. Another shot fired for you guys. Blows up that zombie so we can get this book. And if you thought we were going to use that for casual reading, you're wrong. We're use another part. Also, that plant we killed earlier, that's his cousin. He's a little more aggressive, a little more straightforward about what he wants. Also, we're gonna get this key. This area of the game normally is kind of annoying, especially if you don't know Japanese, because there's a lot of little keys and rooms to go into, but we're just gonna be getting the bare necessities. Alrighty, so we're gonna push this bookshelf just ever so slightly, just enough to get Jill's fat booty through here. And now we're going to do the most fun part of the game. An extremely lengthy box. I don't know box puzzles, especially ones that take like 20-something pushes to get to the end. So yeah, Resident Evil speedrunning is pretty cool. This is again one of the simpler ones. As far as like Resident Evil games go, this one's pretty okay. I think the remastered version of this is a far superior game. My favorite Resident Evil game is still Resident Evil 2. And Resident Evil 3 is pretty good as well. Come to think of it, they're all pretty good games for different reasons. Except for Code Veronica can actually go fuck itself. I can test you to tell me that Code Veronica is actually a good game. Alrighty, the box pushing's almost over. Just sit here and admire what we just did. And if you thought that part was slow and uninteresting, guess what? Now there's water everywhere, so that slows down our movement. Even better. But my lifeguard told me to stay out of the water because, well, there are sharks in there. So we're just gonna drain this water real quick. The knife is pretty mad in Code Veronica, to be honest. But that's about the only good thing. Game has mechanics. Also really stupid boss fights. Resident Evil 2, though, that game is cash. Straight up. Like, everything about that game is... everything that was wrong with this game, but it's much more refined. Even weapon balance, because quite frankly, the bazooka's busted. You're gonna kill everything really quickly with the bazooka in this game. Even the bosses. A lot of shooting, a lot of dodging happens, but we're gonna make up for that. We're gonna shoot some shots here quickly. Also, the book, we're not gonna read it. Put this book here instead. Alright, so there was one thing you want to do with the bazooka when you need to fire multiple shots, called quick shooting. It's an animation cancel where you shoot your gun, and if you press the aim button at a specific frame, it allows you to shoot your gun earlier than you're supposed to, before the recovery frames of animation happen. And it's really easy to do in this game. It's pretty useful for specific boss fights, especially since that's like the only area where you're gonna fire a lot of shots at once. In Resident Evil 2, though, and Resident Evil 3, quick shooting is significantly more useful. Alrighty, this is my favorite dialogue moment in the game.
Save me!
Yeah.
That was close. Thanks, Barry.
Don't mention it. What a monster. I can't believe... what the hell is this place anyway?
Alrighty, so now that the gigantic onion is dead, we're gonna pick up this key, which we need for the mansion. We did all this for a mansion key. And if you enjoyed that dialogue and you want some more, guess what? There's one right around the corner. Another cutscene.
Wesker.
Jill, so you're safe.
That's what I was going to say. Where on earth have you been? You disappeared from the hall all of a sudden.
I'm sorry, but I have my reasons. Perhaps you guys have met them? It was all I could do to protect myself against those strange creatures.
Is that right? Anyway, it's good to see you're safe.
Jill, our first priority is to get out of here.
Yes, you're right.
Now, there are a lot of rooms in that mansion that we can't get into because they're locked up. I have been looking around for clues.
Okay, I'll go to the other house and see if I can find any clues.
Will you do that? I'm counting on you.
So yeah, these cutscenes are kind of great, but if you want to grind the game, watching them over and over again gets a little bit tedious. So I want to check something real quick. Okay, my health is okay. So if you don't like cutscenes, you should play the DS version of Resident Evil because it actually allows you to skip door animations and cutscenes. It's pretty cool. It also has some additional mechanics that are different. Including a touchscreen inventory. Alrighty. So we're gonna go back here, and a new enemy is gonna be introduced into the game when we get back into the mansion. Alright. Here he is. These are Battletoads. That guy's name is Rash, and we're gonna run right past him. Go straight into the door, which I'd also like to mention. I love in Resident Evil because, what I love about Resident Evil is the minute you open a door, enemies just decide, okay, I'm not gonna hurt this guy anymore, or this girl. Sorry, I misgendered Jill. Who does that in 2017? So these are the acid rounds we need for the rest, or for the middle point of the game, because we still need ammo for our gun for certain sections. Normally we would get it from Barry, but since we're using this route, we didn't get them from Barry at the beginning of the game. Alrighty, so you guys remember the big snake that was a problem for me at the beginning? Well, he decided that he is not done hanging out with me. And instead of running from our problems this time, we're going to face them like real warriors, not like cowards. Alright, so I screwed up and didn't get any of my quick shots there, which is unfortunate, but it's whatever, I don't care. That saves like a few seconds.
Have you found anything interesting?
Yes, but I can't see very well.
How about going down to check by yourself? I have a rope here.
Oh, do you? Well, then I'll try to go down using the rope.
Wait.
Hey, what's going on?
Now I've done it. Sorry, Jill. Wait. I'll go and get another rope.
Barry? Barry?
Alrighty. So this is the point in the game where you decide whether or not Barry is going to leave the mansion with you or not. And it's entirely dependent upon if you wait for Barry or if you just go ahead and go for the rest of the game. One thing is the one single trigger in the game that determines Barry's fate. That one thing. Also, here's our obligatory kitchen area. Every good survival horror game has one. Alrighty, and now we're out of acid rounds. I fired too many shots, guys, so we're gonna pick up some more after we pick up this battery. And those 6 bazooka rounds are going to be the last ammo we use in the game. Alright. So there's a dodge coming up here that's actually a lot easier than it looks. Because he's getting in front of a door that we need to get to. Alright, that's Pimple, that's the other Battletoad. There's one more we're gonna have to deal with. I don't actually remember what the third Battletoad's name is. If somebody in the chat can tell me before I get to him, that would be fantastic. Also, you know how there were dogs in this hallway at the beginning. It's been replaced by something even worse, spiders. Sorry if I make anyone uncomfortable because of that. Yeah, there's another Battletoad right there. And this guy's just kind of a Battletoads cosplayer. He's just kind of in the way. Doesn't pose much of a threat. Right, so we're going to be going back in this area, because now that we have that battery, we need to activate an elevator, but to activate the elevator, we have to go down this, or activate the one elevator to go underground, or whatever. I don't know, this is kind of confusing to explain. There's 2 elevators. You gotta activate one of them, you gotta lower the water, then you need to go into the underground section. I jumbled on my words, I'm sorry. It happens, though, nobody's perfect. Except for Shaddix, what a wonderful human being. Zitz, okay, I couldn't remember his name. Alright, this is one of the only sections where RNG is a thing. Because I can't tell which direction the dogs are going to come from, but we got really lucky and didn't get bit, so that's cool. So this section is just kind of monotonous, because we now have to go back, lower this thing so the water fills up again, then go back down that one elevator to finally go underground. also the detection area for this switch is really, really bad. Alrighty, now we're gonna go underground. This is the part of the game that's super hype because we're gonna pick up another crank underground.
Is that Jill?
This is another good dialogue section here.
Amigos?
Yeah?
You're alive!
Wait there! Are you with anybody, Jill?
What? Oh no, I'm alone. But why are you asking?
Listen, the stars are going to be finished soon. Someone is a traitor. Everything was plotted from the start by Umbrella.
Enrico! Who killed him, I wonder?
Alrighty, so now that that mysterious assailant has killed Enrico, he also dropped a crank. Nice. And now there are more enemies in the underground section. Oh, he got me. That's weird. That dodge is a little bit odd. You gotta be very quick to get it. Otherwise he just gets in the way. So let's load up our gun and turn this second crank. Neat. That was a very long and necessary animation right there. Alright, so we're gonna take 8 steps forward to trigger this boulder. And I know what you're thinking, that's not a boulder, it's a rock. A rock. But either way, it's gonna get the next area uncovered. Crashes through a very convenient wall here. And now this is a black tiger, even though he's a spider. Not let the name deceive you. And we're gonna get out of there really quickly. So the method I used for Black Tiger is like not the fastest, but it is the most consistent. The fastest route or fastest method with Black Tiger, it has a little bit of RNG dependence on it because he'll spit on you. And if he spits on you, there is a random chance to get poisoned. And if you get poisoned, you need a blue herb to remove the poison. Oh, what am I doing? I need to do this again. And you will constantly lose health. So by the time you get to a blue herb or any other healing item at that point, you will have 1 health left. And so it basically puts you in a really bad position. So that's why I do the more consistent method of Black Tiger, because if he bites you, you never get poisoned. If he does poison you and you're getting bitten, then I don't. That's news to me. Alright, so push this. Because we haven't pushed enough statues yet. But we're going to push it 4.5 times so that we can crank this wall out without having to re-crank it to put it back. Allows us to push this off the wall. Because normally what you would want to do is push it enough times to have the wall move it out and then undo it so that you can push the statue onto that plate. Saves you a little bit of time to do it this way. It's the 4th toad, Blister. Shoot, how did I miss that? Alright, so my health is a little bit lower than I would like it to be right now, so I'm gonna pick up this green herb. I won't really need it, but it's a marathon and I'd rather not die. So anyone who watched Shots Fired's last marathon might remember that I did Resident Evil 2 and I died on the final boss. We're not gonna let that happen. Because this game, you really have to try to get yourself killed. Alrighty, so now we're going to the final area of the game, the laboratory, which we're gonna be able to go through really quickly because normally you have to find a bunch of stuff in order to figure out what to do. But the main thing is figuring out a password for a computer, which we happen to know the password for because it never changes. Also, cool speed tech here. There's an opening logo, an animation that happens. If we hold the use button, it skips it. So we're going to type in our password. Also, you can't manually type it in with your keyboard. You have to use directional keys to put it onto a key on the keyboard. So you type out username John and password Ada, which does get referenced in Resident Evil 2, which is pretty cool. Alright, now we're going to use the password mole. Oh, here comes a good animation right here. Chris has a better one, but this one's still pretty good. But yeah, the whole purpose of that computer was to unlock a room, which we're now going to go get a key from. And yeah, fun stuff. But coming up is there's a dodge I could do, but I really don't want to risk it, because if I screw it up, Jill is going to die. And it is a very precise dodge, so we're just going to do this instead. Alright, so now in this room is a new enemy. I believe they're called Chimeras. They are very easy to get around. Much like anything else in this game. They look more intimidating than they actually are. And that says a lot, because they are kind of creepy looking. Also, this is some great noise coming from this generator. Excuse me, sir. Alrighty, that's the last. Well, no, we're gonna see one more of those things. Coming up here, unfortunately, now is a very lengthy cutscene, but it is very important to the story. So I just want you guys to sit and enjoy every second of it. I'm gonna go grab something to drink from the refrigerator downstairs while I'm waiting on this to happen.
Barry.
Well, I'm gonna get through the elevator animations first, but... Alright, so bathroom break time. Be right back, guys.
Wesker,
You did a fine job, Barry.
just as I thought.
I think you should stay away from Barry, Jill. I hear that his wife and 2 daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
You are so cruel.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything, because you'll be free from this world very soon, Jill.
Why do you have to destroy stars?
That's Umbrella's intention. This laboratory has been engaging in dangerous experiments, and recently an accident has occurred. Anyway, this disaster cannot be made public.
That's why having stars nosing about is so inconvenient. So you're a slave of Umbrella now, along with these virus monsters.
I think you misunderstand me, Jill. To me, the monsters you mention mean nothing. I'm going to burn all of them together with this entire laboratory. I must complete my mission, as ordered by Umbrella. Barry, go up on the ground and wait there.
Barry!
Barry's such a fool.
The bathroom break was more aimed at you guys. I just wanted to get a drink.
How come both Umbrella and you intimidate him by taking his family's hostages?
Umbrella? Well, I intimidated him, but it had nothing to do with Umbrella. I just used him for my personal purposes, though both you and Barry seem to think I was following orders from Umbrella.
So you're planning something else?
If you succeeded in developing the world's most powerful biological weapon, what would you do? What if you were in charge?
You must stop this now.
You're a brave girl.
No, I'm not drinking beer. Beer is an adult beverage. That's bad. That is a sinner's beverage.
No one understands.
Yeah, I'm drinking PBR though. Shoutouts to Saint Million for having the shittiest taste in beer ever.
Research?
Better yet,
But he's a cool guy.
I'm going to show you.
But
the
still,
tyrant.
shots fired. Also, let's take a minute to admire this beauty right here. This pre-rendered cutscene. Alright, there we go.
Tyrant virus is a super virus, which creates a monster which is much stronger than the beast.
I don't actually like PBR. I had
Tyrant
leftover stuff from
is the most
an event I went to last
powerful
weekend,
biological weapon
so I need to get rid of it.
You don't mean you're experimenting on real people?
I guess while waiting for this cutscene, I'll fire some shots at some other friends I see in the chat.
All this power will be
Shoutouts to DRT Chops for running god-awful speed games and getting mad at them and refusing to stop playing them.
all weak people.
Shoutouts to JTB for running like the dumbest Resident Evil game. Who else can I point out here? Shoutouts to Demonio94 for making the Chef Tyrant emote, which is an inside joke that nobody's gonna understand, so why would you use this in chat? You dingus. Alright, now I gotta focus now. This is the final boss of the game. So you know this is gonna be a very difficult fight, a very tense moment. Yeah, I wouldn't speedrun any more Chops if I had your resume.
It can't control what it does.
Alrighty. Okay, that's not good. But we're fine. I had enough health to tank that, thank God, because I was actually worried I didn't. But I screwed up my quick shots. Normally you want to get 3 quick shots on him and he's dead. Whatever. That was very nerve-wracking. I was worried I was actually going to die there. As a matter of fact, I'm so worried about dying, there's one zombie that can sometimes grab me that I'm going to actually get a green herb to prevent that from happening. Normally you would never do this. But I don't take risks. Because I'm a big weenie. Wait, what the fuck? How are there 2 of those there? That's not right. There we go. Alright, sweet. That was the last enemy in the game. Now it's time for the saddest moment in the game.
It's you.
Barry?
I'm really embarrassed to see you now. Just leave me. Go quickly.
It's over, Barry. Wesker's dead.
Is that so? Jill, will you do me a favor? This is my last wish. Please give this photo to my family. Will you?
Sure.
Give me, Jill.
Moment of silence for Barry. And now the moment of silence is up because we gotta get out of here.
This is Brad. Running out of fuel. If there is anyone alive,
And we're almost at the end of the game. So hopefully you've been enjoying the run. It's pretty comfy. It's not, in my opinion, the best Resident Evil speedrun, but it's still pretty chill, which I like about it. It's fun to run every now and then. It's a very relaxed game. So yeah, there's one thing left to do, and That's to fire off this flare. And since this is the bad ending of the game, we don't get to fight the last boss fight with the Tyrant. Which is a shame, because the dialogue that happens there is pretty gold. Alrighty, so yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I think Resident Evil 4 is next, run by JTB. He's a so hopefully you enjoy that garbage video game. And time's coming up now. So yeah, that was Resident Evil. And I've already said all that crap again. We're gonna skip this cutscene because we don't need to watch this. It's not even the true ending of the game. What's the in-game time? I'm very curious about this. 41:43 is not bad considering I screwed up the yawn dodge and played it safe. That wasn't too bad of a run. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone.